All right, I'm gonna get started here, guys. I'm sorry that the Zoom link did not work. We unfortunately ran into some technical difficulties, so I'm pre-recording this video and I'm gonna send it out to everybody. So I appreciate you for watching this, taking the time out of your night to watch this, but it is very important information, which is why we make it mandatory for everyone to watch this meeting. Let's see. So, like I said, this is the welcome slide. This is the IFC Fraternity Recruitment PNM Convocation for the 2023 IFC Fall Recruitment Process. This is our IFC president. So the IFC stands for the Interfraternity Council, and it's a council of fraternity members here at LSU that all kind of come together and help out with the entire process of Rush and all other fraternity affairs that are at LSU. So this is our president, Charlie Schimmel. This is me. I'm the Vice President of Recruitment, John Huber. And then Michael Upton is our Director of Row Alphas. And Munjit Izza is the Director of Recruitment Registration. All three of these guys would have been on here with me, but due to technical difficulties, I'm recording this alone. So just bear with me on this, and you'll meet these guys during the rush process. And of course, Bill Weisenhorn, he's our IFC advisor here at LSU. He's an LSU employee, but his job is to help out with Greek life affairs, specifically IFC. So obviously, all of our contact information is given here, and it'll be given at the end as well. So feel free to reach out to any of us with any questions you have of this process. I understand that it's a very technical process that can be hard to understand for incoming freshmen and anyone that's not acquainted with the Greek life ideas in general. So I understand. Feel free to reach out, but I do ask that you finish this video before reaching out due to the amount of information that will be covered in this video. So after this, I'll show the contact information again, and feel free to reach out with any questions you have after this video is complete. So the first thing you guys need to worry about is your GroupMe. So GroupMe is an app basically like a group chat app, and all of your row alphas, who are the people that will lead you through Rush, should have added you to a GroupMe group. If they have not, please contact me, and I have my email at the end, of course, and at the beginning. But double check though. Don't contact me before you actually look at the app and make sure that you're not in a GroupMe. You have not been added to any groups. It's a pretty simple app to understand, like work with. So download it, make sure you have it, and make sure that your row alpha contacted you about it and that he puts you in the group on the GroupMe. And that's GroupMe is kind of how you'll communicate throughout the entire rush process with your row alpha. That way you don't have each other's numbers and everything. And it's also just a very common app to have at LSU. A lot of fraternities use it, a lot of classes use it. So it's just important to have it if you don't have it already. And then in terms of social media, the only main social media we use is our Instagram account, which is just LSU IFC. But we do use it pretty heavily, so be sure to check in with that. There's definitely a lot of updates and stuff on there that you might like to know about. So follow the Instagram account at least for the time being until you finish Rush, because there's a lot to learn from that. All right, let me move myself. And then, so this is the Greek houses map where all the Greek houses will be located. It does include sororities on here, but it's important to look at and it's important to have this. So if you're watching right now from another device, you can take a picture of this. It's important to have. It's pretty heavily posted online. You can use Google Maps to find the houses as well. But I'll quickly run over them. ATO is right here if you can see my cursor. Pike, Kappa Sig, Delta Chi, Fiji, Ka, Theta Xi, Sigma Chi, Acacia, Sigma Nu, Teak, Sig Ep, Theta Xi, or Theta Chi, AGR. And then that's it. The rest of these are sororities. So I would run through them, but they're not important to really know about. So make sure you're going to a fraternity house and not a sorority house, and make sure you know where they're at. Obviously, your row alphas will walk with you to the houses, so it's not super important that you know exactly where they're located for the first round, but eventually you will need to navigate the row yourself, so it's important to kind of have in the back of your mind where each house is located, at least to give a general idea of where it is. Okay, so you guys have probably heard me say row alphas, but Row Alphas are basically the recruitment advisors. They're members of fraternities that volunteer to help out with Rush. So there'll be two Row Alphas per recruitment group. They help you during the rounds and during selections to kind of make the Rush process easier. If you have any problems, these guys are the ones to contact. Obviously, like I've always been saying, you can contact me whenever, but I get a lot of emails, a lot of calls every day, especially during Rush. So the first contact should always be the Raw Alphas. Reach out to them with any questions. They're extremely knowledgeable guys, and they're in fraternities also, so they've been through this process most likely already. So they're knowledgeable on the topics, and call them if you're absent or late. And they only promote Greek life as a whole. They're obviously in fraternities, and they'll tell you which fraternity they're in, but their job is not to persuade you to join their fraternity. It's just to help you get to experience the entire Greek life process as a whole. So these are the Row Alpha shirts to look out for. Just kind of a quick picture. They'll be wearing either one of these, vice or back and forth between the days. So look out for the gray shirts. Look out for the yellow shirts. IFC Fall Recruitment. Like I said, you'll meet. Let me see. All right, I'll talk more about meeting later, actually. So name tags and assigned groups. It's very important that you wear them at all times. You'll be provided a name tag on the first day. Do not wear the name tag of anyone else except for you, and just understand that that's the way that fraternities will be looking to like know about you. So like have your name tag present and write it on your chest just like mine. Um, every single round of rush absolutely mandatory, and that's how people will kind of learn who you are, take attendance of you, and understand um, who you are, I guess. And you must stay in the row alpha group you've been assigned to. So you can't change row alpha groups. You should have the groups already. So contact your row alpha, get to know that person. You're gonna be with them a lot of the time for the next week. So become comfortable with that group as well. And so membership selection and process explained. I said I'd come back to this earlier, and I am now. So round one will begin when you meet all 15 chapters. Round one is broken up into 2 days. So round 1A and round 1B. During this round, first time you'll meet the first 8 or 7 houses. Then the second round or second day you'll meet the other 7 or 8 houses. So you'll be able to see every single chapter for a brief time, which is very important. So take advantage of that time with every chapter, and really just explore your options. Uh don't like call anyone out or cut anyone too early without having a full grasp of who that chapter is, or without actually at least visiting them. And then for round two, the students will meet with a maximum of 8 chapters. So after the first 2 rounds, I guess, but first one round, round 1A and 1B, the chapters will make cuts, and then you will invite back your or go back to your top 8 chapters that also did not cut you. And then for round three, which is the preference, the students will visit their top 3 chapters. So basically it goes round one, 15, round two, top 8, and then round three, top 3. And then the preference is the final round of events before students rank their choices for fraternity membership. And I didn't mention this, but your top 8 and top 3 are not in order of how much you like them. It's just simply your top 8. So they can be in any order. Your number one fraternity could be at number 8, but it's just the top 8, and same with top 3. But so how this all works is that students will refer what are called events, which is basically just going to the house and talking to brothers. And there's a very strict schedule that the row office will follow. And then PNMs or students will make their selections following each round. This process allows students to indicate which chapters they would most likely like to visit in the following round. And immediately following each round, chapters will first submit their names of potential members that they would like to invite to the following next rounds. So basically, after every round, chapters will decide who they want to invite back, and then you will decide which your top 8 are or top 3 are, and then your top 8 will only be able to be chosen from chapters that invited you back, and same with top 3. So this is where I really take over here with the recruitment schedule. So Thursday, August 17th, like I said, tomorrow is round 1A. It'll run from 12 o'clock noon to 6 p.m. Please arrive to the parade grounds at the latest at 11:30. We really want y'all to get there early, especially on the first day, to check in with your office, become familiar with the process, get your name tags, and kind of just be all ready to go for rush to start. Then that next day, that Friday, is round 1B. Same times, show up at 11:30. You'll run till about 6, maybe 6:15 if we run a little bit late, but it will never be later than that. Saturday, August 19th, round 2. Same thing, show up at 11:30 at the parade grounds. Rush will run all day till around 6:15 p.m. Sunday is a little bit different though. This is the round 3 where you'll see your top 3 houses. It runs from 11:30, obviously, get there 30 minutes early, till 4 p.m. So a little shorter there. And then Monday, August 21st is the day you'll accept your bids, and that runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you do not have to be there for the entire time, but I'll talk more about that later. And then just a little calendar to look at here. It has all the rounds on it, very basic, but it gives you an idea of when each round occurs. Excuse me. All right, so pre-round responsibilities. Like I've been saying, show up at least 30 minutes prior to the start of each round. It's important that you get there early. The row alphas will arrive at 11 a.m. with the signs. They'll have big signs with your number on it of your rush group. So it should be pretty easy to figure out where you should go. So get there at 11:30, check in with your row alpha, stand with your rush group and wait. I always found a lot of friends in my rush group, so I think it's important to talk to your rush group, get familiar with the guys that you'll be walking from house to house with, and maybe make some new friends along the way. And then at roughly 12 o'clock, the row alpha groups will begin walking to the first house. So that'll be the first house of the day. You'll start walking there, and by the time you get there, the first round will begin. And then this is just a little picture of the parade grounds if you're unfamiliar with where that is on campus. Right outside the Union, right next to the clock tower, this large grass space right here. And you'll see once you come at 11:30, there will be 980 guys there. So a ton of guys. You won't get lost. It'll be pretty obvious where you should go. Just make sure to look out for the signs. So what to expect with the first round of rush? I'll go over outfits and everything later, but the first round of rush, like I said, you'll visit the first 15 houses throughout round 1A and 1B. After the round, you'll select the 8 organizations that you'd most likely want to return to in no specific order. Only chapters that have invited the student back to the next round will appear on their screen as an option. So you won't be able to invite or pick in your top 8 a fraternity that has not invited you back. Students cannot select a chapter that has not included them on their invite list. It's kind of the same as a bullet point above it, but just understand that make a good first impression the first time, get invited back, and if you don't, then it's not the right one for you. And then students will be notified of which chapters they can be attending and which chapters they will be attending during round 2 via the PNM companion app. And just in case you don't are not aware of this term, PNM stands for potential new member. It's kind of what people in Greek life use to address the incoming students that are potentially joining a fraternity but they're not in yet. So PNM companion app will help you with that. And then the chapter's name and time of event will be listed on the round 2 schedule. So right now we have the round 1 schedule solidified, and then once you make the selections after round 1, the round 2 schedule will get pushed out. So here we go, round 2, your top 8. So during round 2, you'll visit your top 8 fraternities. Kind of similar, you'll have longer than the first round, but you'll still get the same amount of time at each house to enjoy it, kind of filter down your options and kind of see where you want to go. And just because it's a top 8 does not mean that you'll be guaranteed to see 8 houses. You could have only a certain amount of invite backs that is less than 8. So if you don't have 8, don't get discouraged, but just understand that those are the houses that invited you back that you put in your top 8. So spend the time at each one of them, use your time wisely, and make a good impression and continue the rush process. So after round 2, students will select up to 3 organizations from which they met during round 2 in no specific order. So basically, out of the 8 fraternities that you visited during round 2, you'll select your top 3. And these selections should reflect the chapters they would most likely to return to in chapter 3. Students will know their chapters that they will be visiting during round 3, the preference round, via the companion app. And the chapter's name and time of event will be listed on your round 3 preference schedule. So, like I said, all these rounds are very similar. They're just kind of filtering down the fraternities less and less each time till you find the one that's best for you. So it gets repetitive, but at the same time, it's comfortable knowing that each round will be the same. So once you get down after the first round, you'll understand how the process works a lot better. So finally, round three, you'll visit your top three fraternities. So this is Sunday night, and it'll be different than the other rounds. After the third round, there's no selections to be made that night. Students, after you go to your top three houses, enjoy the time you have. Um, you'll return to your dorms and wait until Monday morning to make the selection. So once the round is over, no need to put in your top one or anything like that. You'll return to the union in the vocare room of the union, which is, and from that is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It says 11 here, but we extended it by an hour, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. So that Monday is officially bid day, bid acceptance day. So like I said earlier a few times, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., there will be bid acceptance in the vocare room of the union. And this is the first day of school, and we understand that. So this is all just a time you can come to accept your bid. You do not have to be here, and I stress this enough that you do not have to be in the union from 10 to 4 p.m. You can come anytime within that time interval to come and accept your bid. And it will only take around 5 minutes. So plan it out with your schedule. Go to class, obviously. Just plan it out and come in and accept your bid in person in the vocab room of the union. And then afterwards, at 5 p.m. of that night, you'll return to the parade grounds where you've been all week. And this time, you'll find the row alpha. Well, they'll find you. The row alpha of the chapter that you accepted the bid from will find you and walk you to that chapter house that you've accepted the bid to at 6 p.m. So from 5 to 6, you're kind of just meeting up with all the other kids that accepted bids in your new fraternity and just kind of enjoying it, and then walk to the house at 6 p.m. for bid day activities to begin. And then, like I said earlier, if this interferes with any of your class schedule at all, please contact us beforehand. We're very flexible and we want to work with you guys. We don't want you missing class in any means. But you can find the time from 10 to 4, hopefully, to come in, accept your bid, and kind of go about your day until 5 p.m. that night. So I said I'd come back to it, and here we go with the what to wear. It's always a big question, so I thought I would put it on its own slide with some pictures. So for round one, khaki shorts, polos, just like this, and sneakers, tennis shoes, doesn't really matter as much. Don't need to tuck it in, very casual. It's gonna be hot, so dress with light clothing. And then round two, similar, a little extra now. Putting on the pants, tucking the shirt in. You can see the pictures. Tennis shoes are still all right. Dress shoes are preferred, but you can do whatever you want to wear. Wear your own style, obviously, but you still need to follow these basic rules. And then round three, the most dressed up, button down shirt, tucked into pants, dress shoes required, belt, obviously. And we always recommend taking a picture of this slide just so you know kind of like exactly what to wear or like a general idea what to wear. But now that this video is recorded, I guess it's not as important since you can always come back and watch me again. All right, so just some basic things you need to know. Stay with your row alpha group at all times and go to every chapter you're assigned to. This isn't just about, oh, you're going to miss the experience. It's also important for your safety and that we don't lose any PNMs. So go where you're assigned, stick with your row alpha. They'll help you out throughout the process and kind of help you understand where to go. And then maximize your options. Don't sell any chapter short or cut any chapter out of your tops because you think you wouldn't fit in there. It takes a while to really get to know someone, so have deep conversations and keep an open mind during rush. Talk to as many guys as you can. Be yourself. Keep notes on your phone. I use this and it kind of helped me later. When you're looking back to pick your top 8 and top 3, you're not going to exactly remember everything about the fraternity. So if you have some notes on your phone, it'll kind of jog your memory and allow you to understand which fraternity you really did like the best. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Our alphas and IFC executive members are happy to help. So IFC executive member will be me. Row alpha will be the guy that leads your group. And we all are very full of a lot of important information. We've all done this rush process before at least once. So we know a lot about it and never feel shy or afraid to ask for questions. And then be careful crossing busy streets like Dalrymple at night. Campus gets pretty crazy, especially at the beginning of the school year. So obviously, look both ways. It sounds stupid to say, but trust me, we want all y'all to be safe. You're gonna be crossing some roads, cutting through some paths. So be on time, be safe, and parking is always limited. You'll learn that at LSU. That's just how it is. But if you're a freshman and you're on campus, I'd say walk. It's your best bet, even if you think, oh, I live so far, my dorm's so far away. Trust me, parking is very terrible, especially on those first couple weeks of school. And you guys just don't want to get stuck in traffic and miss summer rush. So plan it out, even if it's a long walk. Walk. It'll be so much more worth it, and get some exercise, I guess. So this is just an important resource you guys have while you're looking throughout Rush. It's the chapter scorecards and organization history. So this can be accessed at www.lsu.edu/Greeks, and it'll have all 15 active chapters, and kind of just a little breakdown of their warning status, their scorecard, their GPA, just a little bit of basic information about the chapter that you might not know. So it's wouldn't hurt if you like a chapter or you're just interested in learning more. Check out their scorecard, see a little bit more about them, and kind of get a better idea of them. So, like I said, you can visit that on the LSU Greek Life website. There's not that much information, but it's a little bit, so it's worthwhile just to check it out. So, what to expect from a fraternity in general? A lot of people are kind of unsure of how LSU fraternities work or fraternities in general. So, there's all fraternities, regardless of which one will feed you, they have dues and they have a new member education process. So, those are the three big things that you need to ask about when venturing to each house. So, how do the meals work? Do you have breakfast? Do you have lunch? Do you have dinner? Do you have all three? Which days of the week? Do people like the food? Is it good? Is it bad? Obviously, it's not a deal breaker if they have crummy food, but you love all the guys. But if you're going to be eating there every night, it's kind of important to know what you're getting yourself into. Fees are a lot more important, I say. The dues, every fraternity will charge dues, and they vary in expensiveness. So some of them will be $1,000 to $5,000 a semester. So fraternities can be expensive, and it's important that we want to be transparent with you about how expensive they are. So it doesn't hurt to ask how expensive the dues are. And then finally, the new member education process. This is just the process that you guys will take after accepting your early bid, but before officially being initiated into the fraternity. So there is a time period where you won't be an official member of the fraternity between initiation and when you accept your bid. So three big things to keep in mind. Obviously, think about them, keep in the back of your mind during rush and after, or during the rush process and after. So kind of leading off that, just some more basic questions that you could ask the chapters if you'd like. Kind of give a little bit of an idea of what the chapter's all about. So you can ask a chapter brother, why do you enjoy being in a fraternity? How is your chapter involved on campus? How long is your new member program, like the new member education I was just talking about? What are my responsibilities as a new member? What are the time requirements? How much are dues? Do I have to live in the house? What is the required GPA for membership? And what would my options be on the meal plan? So these are some pretty basic questions, but we advise you to think outside the box. Obviously, be yourself and just talk to the members like you'd want someone to talk to you. Be respectful of everyone. Remember that you're going to be in their house, so be respectful of their property, be respectful of their time, but be yourself as well. So this is the campus director video that I'm just going to show real quick, and you'll understand a little bit more about how PNM Companion works. All right, so I actually don't think the audio is playing on this video, so we're just gonna attach the video um, to this video, I guess you could say. So be sure to watch this video on how PNM Companion works. It's an important part of the process. This is how you'll make your bid selections, but there's no point in watching the video without audio. So watch it on your own time. I get it, it's a lot to watch, but all this information is very important. So just stick with me and you'll understand that although it is a long, tedious process, it's all worth it in the end. So this is just a little bit about if you see something, say something. If you suspect there's a violation in the rules, let a row alpha know. Um, you might not know what the rules are, but you kind of always get that one feeling like this shouldn't be happening. So you can always talk to your row alphas. They're very impartial and they can help you realize, oh, that's just something that happens at fraternities or that is a violation of the rules. LSU has pretty strict rules on fraternities here, so you never know what might be a violation. It doesn't hurt to ask. So just a rule overview right here. There's a lot here to look at, so I'd say give it a read down on your own, but I'll run through it quickly as well. These are the rules that I was talking about, you reporting as violations. So PNMs must be enrolled as full-time LSU students at the University of LSU Baton Rouge campus. So I was talking about you guys. So you guys would technically be in violation if you're not a full-time student here at LSU. Alcohol and drugs are not allowed at any recruitment events, no matter the time of the year. So this would be obviously the time of year is fall 2023 formal recruitment, but no alcohol or drugs are allowed to be at the houses while you guys are there. So if you see something, say something like I said, and it's pretty important. We want everyone to stay sober, get the best face-to-face communication between active members of the chapter and the PNMs coming through. A PNM must never remove his IFC issued name tag or accept a fraternity name tag. So, like we said, that name tag needs to stay on your shirt all day for the entire rush round. You'll give it back to your row alpha, and he'll give it to you each round. So it's important that you don't lose that or don't damage it because you only get one for the entire time, and that's how people can identify you as a PNM, what your name is, and that you're a part of the IFC recruitment process. Next, a PNM must visit all chapters during round one and 1A, or 1A and 1B. So if he does not go to one of the chapters or refuses to leave an event in order to spend more time there, the PNM will be removed from the recruitment process. So this is very important. People don't really understand. You can't just skip around a rush or you can't just skip a house. Skipping even a single house could result in your entire rush experience being forfeited. So you don't want to lose the entire process, especially after you've already done a few rounds, just because you skip something that you don't think you want to go to. Even though you might not be the happiest there, it's important that just to be respectful, go to every house, spend the time. It's not much time, so you're not going to be forced to stay there all day. Just enjoy the whole process and don't take a negative attitude towards anything. So for round two, the PNM is required to visit all events on the schedule. The row office will be checking attendance at each event on these days to ensure the PNMs are in the correct event. And round three, same thing. The row office will check PNM attendance throughout the entire rush process. So you really can't get away with skipping without letting one of us know. We can make arrangements, but it's really mandatory for the entire time. Like there's really no reason you shouldn't be going. And if you don't go, not only will it hurt you with the rush process, but it'll also have fraternities drop you and kind of just have in general, you'll be have to forfeit the entire process. So, like I said, it's just not worth it. I'm just giving you guys the best advice that I see fit. So, go to every event and try to have a good time. I think this is the final set of rules here. So when leaving a fraternity event, PNMs must leave through the same door they enter. Usually it's the front door. I'm pretty sure we kind of have a front door rule with all houses where you'll enter the front door, you'll leave through the front door, and then move on to the next house. Pretty simple. It seems a little weird, quirky, but it's for your safety and so we can make sure everyone's going in and out the same spot. So PNMs may not walk behind or between the fraternity faculty during recruitment. So no walking like around back or kind of like doing like sneaking around the house. You'll walk in the front door, meet the guys. They'll take you to where they want you to see of the house, and that's kind of how it's gonna go. Attendance is a responsibility of the PNM to ensure, and the row alpha will record your arrival time and departure time at all events. So, like I said, punctuality is important. Be there on time and just enjoy the process. Throughout the recruitment process, you might be offered what is called an early bid. This is very important. So, what you might not know is if you're offered an early bid, you will be able to stop the entire rush process if you accept that bid. So, basically, if a PNM earns an early bid from a certain chapter during round 1B and chooses to accept it that night, he will not have to go to round 2. Um, Basically means that you're accepting a bid from that chapter before the official bid date, and it means you're locked in to take that chapter. And once you sign the early bid, sign the bid card, you're unable to go back in the rush, unable to go back. So make sure that that is the fraternity for you for sure before you sign the bid card. And then if a PNM cannot attend bid selections for whatever reason, the Rho Alpha shall be contacted to make arrangements. So talk to your Rho Alphas pretty frequently throughout the bid selection process and just the entire rush process in general. They're there to help you and they know how to help you, so don't feel shy to ask them. We got a few more rules here I forgot about, but I'll run over them quickly. So a PNM must consult his Rho Alpha before withdrawing from recruitment. If the PNM feels he must withdraw, he should complete the withdrawal form. So as PNMs, you guys are allowed to drop out of recruitment at any time if you don't feel that joining fraternity is right for you. You do have to complete the brief withdrawal form, which isn't that big of a deal, but please message your Rho Alpha before the exact moment of you withdrawing, so they kind of have a general idea of this person's planning on dropping the recruitment process. And then PNMs are expected to be on time for all recruitment events and meetings. I've kind of been saying this all meeting, but punctuality is very important. Be at every event on time, be presentable, look good, and then PNMs must meet at the playgrounds at 11:30 each day of recruitment. So I talked about that already, but the rounds start at 12, get there at 11:30. So this is the 24-hour recruitment hotline. If you remember the guy at the beginning of the meeting, Bill, our advisor here, that's his number. So he can take you anytime with calls. Feel free to reach out to him if you have any questions, especially during the rush process. But also, like I said, the Rho Alpha should be the immediate contact before you go up the ranks to us, I guess you could say. And then if you have not registered for Campus Director yet, which is the website that you register for Rush, please contact John Huber, myself, with my email right here as soon as possible, lsuifcvpr@gmail.com. Please contact me with any questions you have about Rush, but specifically if you have not registered but you plan on going to Rush. This also would mean if you're not in a Rho Alpha group, please contact me. And if you're not signed up with Campus Director, please contact me. And then just a general contact information here. You can take a picture of this if you want. These are the guys I talked about at the beginning of the meeting. Myself, John Huber, director of Rho Alphas is Michael Upton. Munjit is the director of recruitment registration, and then Charlie Schimmel is our president of IFC here. So I believe that's it with the slideshow. Like I said, we all here apologize for not being able to have it be a live Zoom. That was our ideal scenario. That's what we wanted, but due to technical difficulties, it was unable to happen. And I really appreciate everyone that made it to this part in the video. You watched the entire thing. Share the information you learned with everyone else going through this recruitment process, and we look forward to seeing you at 11:30 tomorrow morning.